about comparing a couple of these unpacking processes instead of using a script to display them because they had really some different points to look at. And some people did it well, some people didn't, and you expect that for the first time they're going through this. So if you look at this one, they used R12, the reading standard for informational text, and they broke it down and they did it for PE, and they only used one standard. And if you take a look at their overarching ideas, they used were data interpretation of skills tests to evaluate health-related fitness levels. That's a pretty good overarching idea. I always say the easiest way to plug in an overarching ideas is put the idea of students will be able to into it and then fill in the blank. So if you look at that, that is a enduring skill that we would be able to do there. And then the essential question that they have is how can students use fitness testing to interpret personal health related fitness? That's a very good question. For PE, I like the concept of this. They use one of the standards here, very nicely done. Now, I have another one using the same standard, and you can see how an overarching idea didn't quite reach to what PE was talking about. Here we have various forms of media can be used to present information about the central idea of the text and how it was developed. It's it's missing the connection to the subject area. That's the problem with their overarching ideas. Is how does it apply to what they are teaching? And they do it again with students' questions and respond to different aspects of the text and can explain how an idea emerged by citing details from text. Now, this is actually from Spanish, and you wouldn't be able to tell anything about the endured learning that's going on in connection to Spanish. So, if I could go back and reteach this, that would be something that I would have to go back over with them. So you can see the good example between somebody really developing a good overarching idea and somebody that's still a work in progress. We have a couple other examples here. One working on Rs 13, analyze how why individuals, events, and ideas develop and interact over the course of a text. And the same thing, students would be able to analyze documents and interpret information. These aren't overarching ideas, but more like almost like the essential skills. So the connection between the subject and the skill or the idea is a little disjointed there. Here's a good example of one where we can look at foods. Various sources, primary and secondary, can be used in determining the requirements and in which foods can be essential nutrients be found. It's a little choppy sentence, but the concept is very good. They would have to rephrase it a little bit. And then we have here about the diet plan and justification for food items chosen. So you can see here that the difference between an overarching idea that's solid and one that's still a work in progress. They're tying it into the subject area. And they have very good essential questions as a result of it. If you look, how can the teen improve his or her diet to ensure that he or she meets the RDAs? That's a strong question there. Now, if you look at this one, are the questions for history, are they as strong? Is the outcome of punishment just or fair for all involved? Well, it's a decent question, but is it specific enough to the concept? No, because the overarching idea was probably too vague in the first place. So just some food for thought when we're looking at how we make meaning of our stuff is that we really need to keep in mind the subject area in which each, as well as the endured learning that's going on. That's a result of the essential skills that we developed.